Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the marijuana sector and some of the stocks within that sector. We're going to start off with some Canadian plays, and then we'll show you some United States publicly traded stocks after that. Okay, so first up, let's look at the North American Index. This is on the marijuanaindex.com, and as you can see here, it's been breaking out since November 3rd. Huge breakout with the Constellation brands taking a stake in TWMJF and Canopy growth, WEED for Canadian traders, and so we've got the North American Index up 5%, and then if you look at the U.S. Index, same thing. Notice how it's breaking out here, nice breakout, and then the Canadian Index had a big breakout on the 6th. And then you can see here taking off higher, and so if you look at the United States index, look out a year out here, you can see it's at the bottom. So notice how it was way up here above 100 at 108, and now it's down here at 52. So it's bouncing off of the bottom. It's trying to break this downtrend, and so if it can break above, it could get running. If you look at the Canadian index, you can see it's already bounced off the bottom, and it's already retraced. It's already getting close to the 359 high. It's at 300 right now. So the Canadian index is doing much better than the United States index. Okay, so we'll look at TWMJF here. This is Canopy growth. You can see this is the daily chart. So congrats everyone. It made a new all-time high today, closing just shy from the new all-time high at 1527. So that was an incredible move. You know, it is at overbought levels on RSI and Fasto. It's pushing hard on the daily chart here. 1450 was the big level that we wanted to see break. If the share price does pull back, EMA 4 at 1370 is the big level to hold. Notice how EMA 4 has been holding during this push the last couple of weeks. There is a gap on the chart. I'll show you that in a second. Yeah, so you can see here that once the jar was filled back to 10, you know, down here in June, we called the bottom at $5. Support held, and then you know, it bounced off the 300-day simple moving average, and then it ended up starting that really nice uptrend. And then it came up here, it filled the jar at 10, and then it broke out above 10, and now we're up here above 15. So congrats everyone. Notice the big volume that has come in after Constellation Brands has put in $200 million for a 10% stake in the company. If you look here at this daily chart, this is a closer look. You can see the gap on the chart. There's a space on the chart between high of day yesterday and low of day today, and so a drop down to about 1330 or so would fill the gap. There's another gap on the chart that's back here in the last week of October, and so between the high of day on this candle and the low of day on this candle, so it would have to drop all the way down to $10 to fill that second gap below. As long as this middle Bollinger Band here at 11 is holding, this uptrend is intact, and so big volume has been pouring in. It's pushing along. If you look here at the weekly chart, this is a blue sky breakout. Okay, so there's no overhead resistance. There's no moving averages above. There's no prior history of trading before this date. There's nothing that we can go back. This is the complete history of the trading of Canopy growth from back here in 2014, and so this was the level we wanted to see break, this November 16th 1450 high, and that did break today. So you'd like to see that turn into support and the share price stay above that level. You can see there's a gap up open this week on the weekly chart, and there was a gap last week, so you've got two gaps in a row. If the candles do work back into the bands, 1283 is the big support level to hold. EMA 4, notice how EMA 4 has been holding for multiple weeks since way back here in July of 2017, and then the new uptrend started here in July when there was a close above that middle Bollinger Band. That was signaled just to keep riding, and it's been heading higher ever since. So yeah, congrats everyone. You know, really strong uptrend. Another one to be looking at for the Canadian plays is Aurora Cannabis, ACBFF, and so they're huge as well, and you know, they're arguably the second best. You know, there's a few of really big players in Canada. This is one of them. The share price is breaking out here. This is a chart that we had already posted. Let's see that this chart was from the 30th here when the middle Bollinger Band was breaking, and then notice that a new uptrend did begin, and it's been heading higher ever since. And what we were looking for was a close above the October 9th closing price, and so that did happen today with the gap up open, and so it pushed super strong. Notice it's at 275 here. So this is making a very strong push on big volume. You know, you know, Canopy Growth, TWMJF, it has over a $2 billion valuation. Now ACBFF is pushing $1 billion valuation here. So this is becoming a unicorn as well. It's got a massive canopy space. It's sells, you know, has international license. You know, just do your homework. These guys are rocking it big time. They have MACD bullish crossovers here. So if you look here at the weekly chart, what you're going to see here is this isn't a blue sky breakout because there is a resistance level above, and that's the high here from back in November. And so it's basically $3 is the big target. So if it can break and close above $3, that's going to signal that you know, it's a blue sky breakout as well. There won't be any more resistance. If you look back here, ACBFF started trading back in July of 2014. You know, it dropped down, and then you know, it had this nice sideways consolidation pattern. Notice, look at all the big volume, so really heavy loading through here, and then now it's breaking out. Okay, so this is a major player. Okay, they have millions. You know, they have a lot of square footage going on right now, and so above $3, it is going to signal breakout higher. Okay, so another one to take a look at, another top player is APHQF and APHQF, and so this is breaking out as well. It did come up today and break the all-time high over here. From you've got the April high here, and then it did break above and close above that level today. So you want to see that level turn into support. It filled the jar back up to that April level, and so you know, you don't want to see this become resistance. If it does and the candles work back into the bands, you want to see that EMA 4 at 622 hold. As long as the middle Bollinger Band holds and this 50-day simple moving average is holding at 551 and 580, then this uptrend is very strong and intact. Notice that back here in June, the middle Bollinger Band turned into support, and it's been heading higher ever since. It dropped down, filled the jar, and now it needs to break above the top of the jar. That's what it's doing right now on big volume. You know, you've got the MACD bullish crossovers, and so if you look down here at the weekly chart, what you'll see is it did break above the all-time high today. So that's the top of this line, barely. And so that it needs to close above that level to head higher. It's got a really nice uptrend going. This is the beginning of trading here for the stock was in 2015. And so now it's trying to break out to new levels. So keep an eye on it. It's got a very nice uptrend going. You know, the volume and the charts are signaling more upside potential. Okay, so take a look at MEDFF, which is MEDFF, another top player here. It's got had a big gap up open today. Notice on the charts here, it's got multiple gaps. You know, there's some unfilled gaps on the chart. Let's see, right here's an unfilled gap. You know, there's a big unfilled gap here. I'm not sure if that's a little one. Looks like that could be filled. But anyways, if the share price does pull back, look for the bottom of this gap here. It's the top of this candle. If it drops down to around 1075, 1080, you got EMA 4 at 1115. If the candles work back into the bands, you could see this gap fill. There's a space between this chart, so the bottom of the gap would fill there, and then down here, if it dropped down to $9, that would fill the gap below. Notice it's got a really nice uptrend riding above, EMA4 support above the middle Bollinger Band. As long as support's holding, the signals to keep riding. This is just getting frothy here with the big gap and the push above, so it might work in the bands before it pushes higher. If you look at the weekly chart here, this is a blue sky breakout as well. It started trading back in June of, and so this is a really has a really short history. Just started trading in June, and then now it is trying to break out higher. So volume is increasing as the share price is heading higher for this stock. Okay, so take a look at GLNNF. This is one that we've been updating. This is in, this is in the marijuana sector. It has a, it's in the blockchain as well. And so if you look here, it's breaking out. It's trying to break out above the all-time high, which is back here in October. So the top of this candle here was the all-time high. It did make a new all-time high today. The top of today's candle up here around 98. That is let's see, the new all-time high is what, 9846. And so now the big level to break is that $1 level. $1 is always a big level in Pennyland. It's got to break above this high all-time high level and turn that into support. You notice it's right in EMA4 support higher. The candles have just been stair-stepping higher, not making huge moves, but continuing this uptrend. We put out a bounce alert here when it pulled back and bounced on the 16th, and it's been heading higher ever since. It's got to break above this level, the top of this level, in order to head higher. If you look here at the weekly chart, you can see that it did break out last week on the weekly chart, so that was signaling more upside potential. We were looking for a close above this first week of October and closing price, and that happened last week. That was signaling more upside, and now it's looking like it wants to continue pushing higher. It's on a 4-week run here. EMA4 is the big support level that has been holding the entire time that it's been running since down here in August, since August 14th, close above that level. So yeah, so this is a really strong weekly chart. If support's holding, the signal is to keep riding. So take a look at OGRMF. Okay, so this stock has been in the sideways channel, and so it's heading back up towards that 250 level, which was the closing price here on October 9th. If it can close above that, it should be a signal it wants to break out higher. So keep an eye on it. It's got a nice volume spike today, and it closed above the middle Bollinger Band. That's OGRMF. And then to look at some United States stocks, check out CBIS. It's in the bull zone here in RSI. It closed above the middle Bollinger Band on Friday, above this dotted purple line, and then today it closed above the 50-day simple moving average at 0.039. If that level can hold, the next level to break is the 100-day simple moving average here, 0.044, and then the 300-day simple moving average at 0.056. Yeah, this is a nice reversal on big volume. So we're going to see if this can continue higher. MJNA has been on this epic run. I'm not sure if you guys have caught this or not. We've been talking about it in our chat, and yeah, look at all these green volume bars in a row and how they're increasing as the share price is heading higher. We put out alerts. It was breaking the middle Bollinger Band, and then breaking the 50-day simple moving average, and then breaking the 100-day simple moving average, and then now it hit the 200 and 300-day simple moving average. That's the top of the moving averages, and so that could signal a top of the run. If it can close above that level, which is basically 11 cents, if it can close above 11, then you're talking about the closing price over here on the 18th of July, which is about 12 between just above 12.25, and so if it fails to break above and close above the 200 300-day simple moving averages, you could see the candles work back into the bands, and then there's a small gap right here. You could see that gap fill, and you could see the 100-day simple moving average tested. You want to see that level hold now that the candles have broken above it. It doesn't look like there's any any gaps to fill below that level. So yeah, MJNA has been on a really nice run. TRTC has been heating up as well. You know, it closed above the middle Bollinger Band last week, and then you know, it pulled back, and then it closed back above again on Thursday, and then on Friday it closed above the 50-day simple moving average, the green line there, and then today it closed above the 100 and 200-day simple moving averages. So TRTC has been trucking along. If it can hold on to this 200-day simple moving average at 233, you could see a run up here to the 300-day simple moving average at 277. That's the next target if this red line can hold. Okay, so check out Kush Bottles here, KSHB. They're breaking out as well. So you can see they're above the 50 and the 100-day simple moving averages. That's the green and the yellow line. The gold line, the candles are above the middle Bollinger Band. The share price, you know, it's currently in an uptrend, and it's hitting that key resistance level, the 200-day simple moving average. If it can close above, that's going to signal more upside potential, hopefully, and you know, more than likely, if it can hold on to that level, it could make a push up here to the 300-day simple moving average, similar to here where it was tested and pulled back. And so yeah, keep an eye on it. It's got you know, the volume's been picking up, and it's trying to push higher. And then one more to take a look at, SGMD. It's very similar setup. You know, it got above the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages, and then now it's hitting this 200-day simple moving average. If it can get above this 300-day simple moving average at 0.08, it could really get running. You know, you could see a potential double, having it run back up to this February level, or it could even larger gains if it ran back up to the levels from November of 2016. So yeah, this looks like it's breaking. It's trying to break this very long downtrend, and it's all about breaking that 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. If it can get above, then it could really get running. So keep in mind, like what we were talking about in the beginning of the video with the indexes, and how the Canadian indexes have already ran, you know, and they're running and they're very strong, and you can see on the charts where they're making blue sky breakouts. And then you have the United States index, which is at the bottom, and it's trying to bounce and get a reversal going. So keep an eye on you know, all these United States plays that I was showing you at the end. There's a whole bunch more. I can't show them all to you. It would take too long. But yeah, we're starting to get a little reversal in the sector. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. Thank you.